You'll see.
All right.
Welcome to the live.
Yellow.
Let me grab
Yes.
this.
All right.
Okay, vocals.
Okay.
I
still relive that Walmart day.
I was
The Walmart
literally
day.
thinking about that.
That was the most frustrating.
the crazy thing is, I
That
still
shouldn't
don't
have
even really
pissed me
remember
off.
that Walmart
You
day.
don't remember it?
I don't remember
No.
it either.
What I don't remember,
Not you.
to him, but he just would not say a word. He just kept singing to himself.
Listen, you're lucky that I said anything because usually I'm just like, I'm just gonna shut down. I'm not gonna say nothing.
What's good, Tropes?
Who?
Somebody that follows me on YouTube just commented.
All right, YouTube.
What
I
up?
be streaming like 2K content over on YouTube from time to time. You already know what time it is. Tune
I just love how
into.
we're all like supportive right now, all black people.
You love to see it.
There ain't
Camille.
nobody I don't like.
Goodness.
Once again, I got Cameron, Camille. For now.
What?
For now. And Matt. It's longer than usual. Vicky's in here.
Yeah,
Hi.
Vicky, I
Hi.
miss you so much. That's my auntie.
You saw my new vid.
Oh,
I did see it. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I'll watch it this evening.
So, how was everybody's day? Before we get started,
it's lovely.
It was Groundhog's Day, as Precious like to say. Same thing.
Indeed.
It was
Wait,
Groundhog's
is this
Day.
like our updates that we give in the beginning, or is this just like?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Kinda-
are you sure?
I mean, I didn't do the actual intro yet, but I can do that, and then we can do. I'll do that just for you to know. Then we can do the actual catch up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lab Podcast, a podcast with four friends. I am Aaron.
I'm Camille.
I am Black Lives Matter.
and I'm Matt.
How y'all doing?
Your delay
How y'all
is
been?
hilarious. I'm Matt.
How's your week been?
So this week, I work at.
He just wanted to do his first.
Yeah,
Right.
I did, 'cause I had some-
That's why he asked.
He's like,
Pretty
so
much. But this week it's been very interesting, especially going back to work. I find that I'm a bit more anxious. I had to take some moments just to keep from crying. I'll admit. I had a customer who was black, who was right behind another customer that was white, elderly, and he was just like very short and was like giving strange looks. And so like when the black guy came to counter, he was like, I was so tired of that guy. I was like, I know. I feel very trigger happy, and there's just so much that I want to be saying to people, but I'm just trying my best to refrain. One lady actually asked me like, how are you today? Like, how are you making out with everything? And I wanted to turn into a puddle. So it's been very interesting to operate in society, and have all of this on your heart, mind, and spirit.
I can definitely attest to that because doing my job as well, I do customer service for a lawn care company, and I've definitely had some customers that I've dealt with, ask me how I am doing today. Not that you can tell that I'm black over the phone, but I have people that are like, like how are you doing with the protests? How are you feeling with everything? I did have this one guy that tried to go off on me. I'm like, sir, if you continue to swear at me, I'm going to discontinue this call. And guess what he did? And he called me a stupid MF, and he got hung up on. But on top of everything, it has encouraged me that I do get majority of people that are asking, how I'm doing, just as a human being. That has been cool. Besides that one guy, my week has been going good.
Great. Mine's been good. That's it.
No updates. No updates, Camille.
My nephew is adorable.
Oh
You
yeah.
didn't tell me
Congratulations
that
again.
Your nephew is now what,
Born
6
right
days
after-
old? It was Friday when we went live.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
And the
Yeah.
people don't know. The people don't know, Camille. You gotta let the
Yeah,
people
because you
know.
told us afterwards.
Yeah.
No, I said it in the live.
No, you did.
Did you? It was
Yeah,
after I
I
went
said-
live.
She did
No,
say
Because I said,
All right.
yeah, because
It
I was
was.
saying
It was
like,
boring.
oh,
the first thing she said was like something
I'm
important,
It's happening,
It's
yeah.
happening. Yeah.
and then towards the end she was like, "By the way, I have a new nephew."
Yeah. Because he posted it. So I was like, all right, I feel like I can
Yeah,
say
exactly.
what
Right.
it is
Remember
now.
that.
You know, I didn't want to steal anyone's thunder.
Oh,
But,
some other good. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I mean, some other good news. I finally have scheduled a haircut because Governor Murphy has tweeted that barbershops can return. So on June 27th, I have a scheduled haircut, and I couldn't be happier. I almost happy cried once I saw that tweet.
I mean, I had to go ahead and cut mine yesterday.
And wait, can we just give a shout
Hey,
out
Miss
to
Angelique.
Matt's mom? I want to
Hi.
give a shout out to Matt's mom because
Hello,
she's about to be
Mother.
coming out with the book.
Yes, she
Oh.
is. Shout out to her.
I almost happy cried about that as well. Shout out to my mother, a future published freaking author.
Yes.
Yeah, that's dope.
Black Queen.
And
Exciting.
we will definitely be giving all the viewers that link. And like I texted you, I expect my autographed copy.
But you better buy it.
Because he's gonna sell it.
Oh, I definitely told her I'm gonna buy it, but I want that little John Hancock on it.
I don't know what's new with my week. Nothing much. Just working. Nothing much. Nothing crazy that I could think of off the top of my head. Like, I've tried to attend 2 protests, but I'm slow moving out the house, and I hear about them last minute. The one I got the violin and it was over, and I was like, well, guess I'm going back home.
Your intentions were good. So
Yeah, I mean, but I'm going to one on Sunday.
Aaron
I'm
is-
going to one on Sunday.
Wait, when is it on Sunday? 'Cause we
It's
can go
in
together.
Bridgeton. Well, there's one in Bridgeton on Sunday, 2:00. Starts at City Hall and it heads to the sheriff's department. I'm going. My parents are going. I think Galen's coming. So the more the merrier.
All right, I'll text you after this, and we'll
Yeah,
figure.
I'll
stuff
text you
out.
the flyer I got and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So first on our hot topics, it's I just found out. I was just informed that it is Pride Month this month. So happy Pride Month. Always standing in solidarity and support with members of the LGBTQ plus community.
You have been very supportive through this.
Also
whole
very
entire
true.
ordeal.
Very, very true.
Absolutely.
What's up, Kevin? What's up, Kevin?
Hey, Kev.
Kev?
What up?
Any thoughts on that before I move to the next hot topic?
So, being a history major, just going back to Stonewall, Pride
I was just
Pride
gonna
started
bring that
out
up.
as pretty much as a protest, and so I think that it's just very apropos that leading into a month of Pride, we're protesting around the world for human rights, and it's a very nice thing.
And I feel like it's important to bring up with Stonewall when you discuss it that it was Black people that led that protest, and were very heavy in everything that went on. So I think that is important to discuss, and it's very, like you said, apropos that this is all going on in June, which is Pride Month, because Black people have in the LGBT plus community have been very heavy and supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Very true. Next on the docket, we got Anonymous apparently is back,
Yes, he is.
and I don't think it's just one person, it's a group.
A huge
And apparently
Anonymous.
they was exposing stuff left and right.
Go ahead, expose
Let
it. I'm happy.
Let me just say one quick real thing. growing up, I had beef with Anonymous because Anonymous shut down Sony for like 3 months, and we couldn't play nothing online in middle school.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
in
remember.
high school,
I remember that blackout.
my PlayStation
I
basically
remember
just
that.
was useless for like 3 months.
I was
My
at
senior
How
year.
old were you?
They doing the Lord's work now, amen. But you know, they was the devil back in high school.
I don't
Apparently,
remember that.
apparently they said they weren't involved in that, but we know what's up.
Exactly. Because somebody give me a breakdown what they was exposing, because I saw some tweets, but I didn't get a chance to really read. So
So-
somebody break this down for me.
Pretty
We're
much in the
expecting to start.
video. Oh, pretty much in the video, they were just talking about how the American justice system is failing folks again, and they see the atrocities that are going on, and so they're coming after that. But then they're also looking at President Trump, and how he has alleged ties to a child sex trafficking ring.
God.
And how they intend to expose that. We know that Trump is a little bit creepy.
I mean, he said he would date his
Not a
daughter,
little bit.
so
Yeah, exactly. He said he would date his daughter. He talked about the legs on her, and it got very sexual, very weird. So I guess him and Jared Kushner might be sharing. But that's what they're pretty much. That's what they're pretty much
Yeah.
trying to expose. They're helping Black people. I'm all right with it, Anonymous. If
So, yeah.
you're
Yeah,
listening,
That's
I'm
a
with
bold. That's bold.
claim, right? Bold statement, claim, whatever the phrase I'm looking for.
That's why I said I guess.
mean-
I guess. I don't.
I
don't
mean,
put it
I
out there
know
like
you.
know for sure.
I know you guys like it when I say allegedly, but I have seen the articles that were released, and I saw some things about 13-year-olds, even younger than that. So it is out there. Like we kind of talked about this last week. Public articles can be found if you're looking for them, and that's what Anonymous has released. On top of that, what has been released the past couple days, mind you, we're talking about days here. On top of the children's sex scandal, they're exposing covered up things from police murders, specifically with Minneapolis responding to George Floyd. They hacked the Chicago Police Department and played at the police on top of the
I did see that.
what's it called the
Police
broadcast.
scanners, the radio, something. Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh yeah, I heard some of them where they were like,
Yeah.
just shoot them and run them over.
Oh, I heard that one.
Well, no, that was New York.
Anonymous has definitely been coming for Trump and the police departments, and just like you said, they are doing good work right now, and just trying to bring things to light.
Which
Yeah.
is good.
Completely somewhat related and somewhat not. I saw a tweet. This guy was basically had DM'd Anonymous saying like, yo, I want to be a part. Like, I got skills. And they was like, all right, we're going to send you a test within 24 hours. But then you're going to screenshot it and was like, guys, about to be part of Anonymous. And everybody's like,
Gosh,
you failed the
got
first
me.
test. That's the whole point of Anonymous, that no one knows who you are.
Well, can I just say this? I
Yikes.
want to nominate somebody to join Anonymous.
That's not how it
It's not-
works.
No,
Yeah, you
but
can't just
listen,
be a nominee.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah, you
It's
can't
not
just
just
nominate
one
name out there
person,
like
it's an
that.
organization. I want to nominate Black Twitter
Let's take
to,
the Academy
to
Awards.
be part of Anonymous. Only because Black Twitter, let me tell you, if they sense racism, within 2 hours they will have social security card numbers, where a person lives, where they work. They just going off of a video. The lady
They just
didn't
the
say her
FBI.
name, and they can find them up real quick. Black Twitter and Anonymous, they need to get together. A and B. Got a new organization for you.
First one was me. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
First one was me. My bad. Second one was not.
Next on the docket, we've had, as everyone's aware, we've had Black Lives Matter movements and protests in every state in the country,
And across the
in
world.
multiple countries across the world, in multiple parts of every state. It's just been everywhere on a really global level. So we just wanted to create a space or just a moment for everyone to kind of just share their thoughts on them. We've seen some of the backlash that we've seen for people who aren't in support of it. So I'm just gonna open it up, and whoever wants to share first can share. Then I'll share my thoughts, whatever.
One thing I definitely want to say first, I want to give a shout out to New Jersey as a whole. There were some peaceful protests in Newark. I saw Camden,
Of all places.
and
Be nice to Camden.
No, I'm saying
They
like
were-
that's a
they
good
were
thing. Like,
peaceful.
out of all places, Camden was peaceful. It was that was a positive thing.
absolutely, I saw the cops actually not breaking up the protests and walking with the people. So I just want to give a shout out to New Jersey as a whole. It made me be proud to be from here.
Hi.
How you doing, Shekinah? So yeah, shout out to New Jersey.
Aaron.
We've definitely have been with the protests and COVID and everything. I feel like New Jersey has been setting the pace for a lot of places in the world.
That is true.
Blame North Jersey.
What's the name? We're doing a
They're
decent
COVID.
job. I ain't been mad at him.
Murphy,
Yeah, I ain't been mad at him.
I agree.
Some
I
people
think-
are, but I'm not.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people are.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people
I
are,
don't
but I
say a
ain't.
lot of people are. I just think that there's a group
There are
of
people who are.
society who wants to get haircuts right now that can't get them, who wants dye jobs but can't get them. But you know, they just gotta step back a little bit.
Well, they gotta wait till the 27, just like I.
Hey, spirits heavy.
Yeah.
I think personally for me, just looking at the entire situation, it's definitely had some low moments and high moments. I'll give you a low moment for me. When George Floyd when we first saw him be killed, that of course was very disturbing. And then just seeing all the protesting and everything. But the moment for me that really broke me
Chili.
was when I saw the protest in Washington, D.C., and how simultaneously our president, who said that he was for peaceful protesting, cleared out a square of peaceful protesters in
for his
Lafayette
photo op?
Square. When I saw the video of the horses coming in, the tear gas being dropped, them being shot by pellets of rubber bullets, I lost it. I was like, what is happening? And then to see him, strut over there, giving thumbs up, and Attorney General Barr smiling from ear to ear, and then he had the nerve to take a text that is so sacred to us, hold it up, and stand in front of a church for a photo op. It was just one of the most disturbing images, I think, of the presidency, and that's saying a lot. And so that was a very low moment, but a high moment. And shout out to all our friends on Facebook and Instagram who are allies and supporters and are just really showing themselves to be great friends right now. I've been having such great dialogue with white friends, former classmates of mine. And you know who you are. I don't want to put your name out there or anything. Just, I don't want to embarrass anybody. But you know who you are. You've been reaching out. You have been commenting on multiple posts and just showing your support. I think that, every time I saw such a supportive post, it touched my heart in such a deep way. And I'm thankful to know that we still have a lot of good in our society. And then I also feel hopeful because I feel like, even though there's a lot of people who are racist and are still showing their butts, I feel like for the most part, there's a whole lot more people this time who are just getting it, and we're all getting it together, and so that's causing me a bit more hope because we as a society, for the most part, I hope, we're starting to get it, and not only are we starting to get it, we also get that we have to do something about the issue of racism and bigotry in this country and the world.
I totally agree with literally everything you just said. I have seen a lot of people that I'm close to that have been reaching out, just showing their support in their own individual ways, and I'll sit here and say I totally appreciate it. And it makes you feel good, being Black people that are friends with white people. You would really expect them to show them support, for them to show you support. I mean, during times like this, and the people that have, I just appreciate it.
So I have a quick question. like, what would you do? What will we? What would you do for friends of Caucasian descent who have not reached out to you yet? Because I asked this question of one of my other Black friends, and like we just like we're not sure. Like, what are y'all doing?
I mean,
I don't expect all my white friends to
Right.
reach out to me personally. All my Black friends haven't reached out to me personally. I haven't reached out to
Right.
all my Black friends personally to see how they're doing. So it makes no difference to me personally. I know it makes no difference. I think like to reach out personally.
But
I
if,
mean,
like, they're being
I've seen
completely
people.
mute.
I've seen people post on social media. I mean, some people are mute, but to me, also like speaking personally, that hasn't happened to me. So I also can't tell you what I would do or say or how I would feel.
I mean, my opinion on it, like my response to this question, it's not that you have to reach out to me. You know, it would be nice, and that's what I expect. You know, just to be a kind human being. But if you don't reach out to me, I don't hold that against you in any way.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like Miss Angelique I was just about to say, people process things differently, so everyone's going to handle it differently. Everybody's going to adjust differently.
So let me make myself clear, if I just so I'm not misunderstood. If you have reached out, I appreciate it. If you don't, I don't hold that against you. I mean, in my candy voice, we see each other.
Because I saw a good tweet today by a person I follow. They were like, you don't really know what people do. Some people could be posting on social media. Some people could be go on the walks and don't post nothing about it. You would never know they was at a walk, but they could have been at 5 walks already. Some people could have donated $500 and they just don't post it, so you would never know. So some people, it's just so if social media ain't their thing, it ain't their thing. Like some people just not on. Like I got some friends who just not on right now. They just went, silent, whatever. So that could be their thing. I see some people just living life like normal. That could be their thing, whatever. It's really different for everybody. And I think it really comes down to a personal thing. Like if you are that Black person who has white friends who you thought or feels like should care about you, and you feel like on a personal level that they should, or you would appreciate if they said something to you and they didn't. And if it bothers you that much, I think you should just ask them or have that conversation with them. I don't think you asking another, like, I don't think if I felt that way as a Black person, I don't think me asking you, Darnell, as a Black person would give you'd be able to give the answer I need. I think I got to handle it in the best way for me.
Mm-hmm.
If it bothers you that much, have that conversation. Be open enough to start that dialogue. You know what I mean? Not in a attacking them way, but to start the dialogue. Mm-hmm. Explain what it is you're feeling, because they might not just know what it is you're feeling. Because you also have to remember, yes, we see it a lot. I probably, especially myself, I see it a lot. We see it a lot, but it's because we follow a lot of Black people, and all the Black people that we follow, I've seen the same. Exactly. I've seen the same videos 20 times because that's my timeline. If I'm a white person and I only got a couple of Black friends, maybe it might not be on my timeline that much. Right. You also, and yes, you can say it's flooded everywhere. How do you not see it? Yes, it is flooded everywhere. How do you not see it? But if you don't follow those outlets that are, if you're not following the Shade Room, if you're not following the Spiritual World, if you're not following all of these outlets that are really posting it all the time, you just might not see it. Am I giving an excuse? No, but I just want people to realize everyone's reality is different. And be able to, if you feel in a certain type of way, approach them, have that conversation with them. You know what I mean? Like, don't just cut them off or go crazy.
At the end of the day, you're going to seek the knowledge that you're looking for.
Right. Even if you're on the opposing end of things and you just are angry and don't understand Black Lives Matter, don't understand anything that's going on, I feel like, which I've seen a lot of just people angry, like all lives matter, and like just people getting angry about even the phrase, or getting angry about why people are protesting and all this other stuff. I'm like, ask. Find a Black person that you're close to, that maybe you're maybe not even that close to, but you know them and you feel comfortable enough asking them. Like, ask the questions as to why is all this happening? Why is this such a big thing? Because instead of just being like, oh, there's no problem. What are they talking about? There's no problem. This statistic says this or that or whatever. It's like, okay, but
Child, if I see
It may not
somebody
be.
saying another
I
statistic,
know, but I'm like, my thing is that if it's not your experience, which is fine. Like, just as a Black person, if a white person gets hype about something or upset about something that we may not understand, we can go to them and say, hey, like, I don't like, okay, for example,
I didn't
when
like
there was that the vaccination thing, like I don't have kids. I mean, I have nieces and nephews, but I don't have kids to understand why people were getting hype about the vaccination stuff. But I'm not going to knock that person for fighting for what they believe in, for fighting for what they want when it comes to that. So I feel like people need to come from a place of, I want to understand, I want to learn. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, think Black Lives Matter is like a good organization, fine. But if you're for like all lives matter, okay, well then if all lives matter to you, then shouldn't you be willing to understand that person's life? Shouldn't you be willing to understand that what that person's going through and what you may not have known that whatever is going on, but ask. Don't be so quick to be angry or to just judge like whatever's going on, like they're doing this and that and that. No, seek to understand, seek to learn, seek to know your fellow human being, fellow friend, brother and sister in Christ, Christians, church. You know what I mean?
You better speak up. Come on.
Just saying. Wasn't expecting to preach.
You're a little too loud right now. You're a little too loud right now.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you could say it one more time for the people in the back, because now I have two things to say. First of all, about this all lives matter thing. All right, so are Black lives not included in that? So you're saying all lives matter. What's your point?
I saw a very interesting post. It said explanation for people who don't understand what Black Lives Matter means. It was basically like, if your house is on fire and the firefighters come to put the fire out on your house, but your neighbors are saying, put water on my house too. Well, no, because your house isn't on fire. Your house isn't burning. Black people's existence is literally burning in this country. And that's the point of Black Lives Matter. It's not Black Lives Matter only. It's to let people know Black Lives Matter too. Like, because people out there act like Black lives don't matter. So we got to remind y'all that they do.
But it's not everybody. And people I'm not racist. I'm not okay, but nobody said you were.
Right, nobody said that. Nobody said that.
Told you that.
That's not the
if they did,
discussing
sorry.
Usually, if you have to say I'm not
talk to that person, if they did.
I'm kidding now, but I think that at least
we were on such a good path.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But
real quick, the second thing I had to say, it'll come back.
It's gone.
Well,
dang.
While you're getting it back, I think
you guys distracted me.
The purpose of my question is that I've heard a lot of our own folks saying that silence, for our white friends, your silence is deafening, and it's just it doesn't. I mean, I'm concerned a little bit, but it does make me pause when I see people that I interact with on not a daily basis, but on a continual basis, who I would expect from, some type of reach out. They don't do it. And I think that, at least for a couple of us that, we have a lot of white friends. And I think that it's just not you anymore. Not you anymore.
No, we don't.
But, at least from
got a lot of white Facebook friends.
From my college days, I have a lot of white friends. And a lot of them have posted, and I thank them for the post. But then there's some people who have been just like radio silent. And, it's just nothing from them. And so that's why I asked that question. Also,
did you ask them?
Have you contacted them? I plan to.
Okay.
But I think that overall we have to, at least with this movement and this go around of things, I think that we have to realize that, there's so much to fight for in this country. We have to fight for women's equality. We have to fight for a Black person's right to just live. There's just so many fights going on with the LGBTQ plus community, the Hispanic community. We still have migrant children who are still in detention centers. Flint still ain't got no clean water. And so I think that we just have to, as a society, have a coming together and realize that there are different things that really make this society ill. and we have to figure out what the remedy is to make it better. We have to become more loving. We have to become more accepting. We have to become more thoughtful. Do research. You know, I have so many white friends that are saying that they're reading things like the new Jim Crow, things of that. Like, just do your homework.
I feel like fight for things that matter to you.
Point from Galen.
Yeah, honestly.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, like I
really
said,
depends.
it go like it honestly goes back to. I'll say this,
People
and then I'll
just
say
don't
what
know
I
where
was
to
going to say
begin.
before.
That's also a great
right,
point.
Exactly.
Some people don't know what step one is. Some people.
That was my point.
For some people, and this honestly, it might be hard for us to fathom because we're Black and we live this every day. But for some people, as crazy, and it's crazy to me even think about to say it, as crazy as it sounds and as crazy as it is to even realize, for some people, this week might have been their real first awakening that racism is still alive in America. For some people, some people that we may know, this might be their first time ever really truly realizing that racism is still alive and well and kicking in America, and they really don't know where to start. It just hit them like a truck, and they don't know where to start.
The same channel turned on. I'm very glad.
But I mean, my friend was like, said to me, I don't know what to, like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And she was like, I stand with you, but I just don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I'm like, honestly, don't feel like, don't feel like I'm like, I wanted her to know that I'm not expecting her to say anything. Like, no, I feel like people feel forced. Like, don't feel forced to say anything. However, I think there's ways to be a part of the solution and not the problem. And that's where I feel like you got to think about, okay, what in my life can I do to be a part of the solution and not the problem? And that I can appreciate. So if it's having conversations about with the people around you who maybe say racist things, not entertaining it. I saw this great dialogue between Pastor John Gray and Stephen Furtick, and really it was great, basically everything that I felt. What?
I said I can't say that man's last name. It's like Furtick.
But no, it's honestly it starts with you figuring out for you how you can be a part of the solution and not the problem. If you feel like all lives matter and you don't see anything wrong with like I lost my train of thought. But basically,
you weren't supposed to read it. I was just putting it up there while you talk.
Oh, well, so I like to read what people say, but
I mean,
y'all need to keep your comments a little short.
Leave the people alone.
I'm just saying, so I can
read fast. Like
it's hard. It's hard when I'm in the middle of saying something and I want to read it.
But look, real quick,
I want to take the time and read what they say.
That was confusing, everyone. I did not say that.
Come after the viewership.
What are the things I thought that you just said?
Go ahead.
Just I'm gonna be real quick.
One of the things it might have been someone was talking first.
Don't talk over me.
I'm one of the things. Well, look, one of the things. I'm gonna be real quick. And a great point that you made was that friend that reached out to you said that they didn't want to say. That's the first step right there. Just to be like, I don't know what to say. The world on fire, but I love you. You know what I mean?
Right. That was enough.
That's all I want.
I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. The world is on fire. I want you to know that I see it and I love you.
I don't need them to come with a big afro, fist forward, you know.
And that's what one of my boy did. That's what one of my friends did. They was like, yo, it's crazy, but I love you. I don't like literally.
That's all I need from some people that I expect that from.
Well, you need to talk to those people because clearly they don't know. Now they might.
I hope they
might.
Who knows?
I mean, closing thoughts.
This is also a great point too.
Closing thoughts for me that I was gonna say is
right. That's what I'm saying, Miss Angelique. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Ooh, don't you talk over me.
Sorry, Matt. I love you.
I'm gonna do that every time somebody talk over somebody.
Closing thoughts for me that I was gonna say. You're gonna seek the knowledge that you're looking for, and that's just what it is at the end of the day.
Okay, Pastor.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sure we'll somehow come back to this, but
yeah, we will.
It's slightly one thought I thought of it earlier, but I wanted to say it. because I've seen this a lot, and a lot of people are talking about letting the media is doing it. A lot of people on my Facebook timeline. I'm just staying off. I only go on Facebook for about once a day. I get Facebook like a half hour a day. I can't do it. It's
That's good. That's wise.
I can do
I've had to
Twitter.
turn that off a few times.
Twitter and Instagram can be a little fun too. Also being, but my Twitter and Instagram is also a lot more black. But that's just how I've curated my timelines. One thing I saw about, like, you've seen it on the media. Everyone's talking about the protesting, and about the few instances that people are talking about looting, or talk about rioting, and they're letting those instances overshadow the movement as a whole. And I saw a great post that was basically saying, if you can say that there's good cops and bad cops, and not to let the bad cops taint your view of all the good cops. Don't let the few rioters and looters that have nothing to do with the movement taint your view of all these peaceful protests happening across the world on a daily basis.
Amen.
That's true.
That was a great way to end that.
Yeah. So next we got a little. I think this might be a little more lighthearted. I don't know if it's lighthearted or not.
Probably more lighthearted than we
I think it's a little more lighthearted, but I don't know the reason. I don't know the reason for why, because I didn't put this. Amanda Seales didn't renew her contract with The Real.
No, she did not.
So on the Shade Room, they posted a video of her having an interview with somebody. And what?
Don't enough say who's Amanda.
No, I said she posted a video. I know Amanda Seales is a lover.
Wait, time out real quick. For context for me, ain't Amanda Seales, she on Insecure, right?
Yes.
And she the one who wasn't let end the party, but was trying to get Issa to let her in, but it wasn't Issa's party, but she was mad.
Yes.
And then yelling from outside the party.
Yes.
All right. She's yelling from outside the club, couldn't get in. Copy.
Right. Go on, Camille.
Who's that girl over there?
So she's on The Real, and she's been on The Real for a year, and she's had a lot of controversy. Yes, for Tamar Spot, Matt. And there's been a lot of controversy since she's been on the show, because people think, oh, she's too real, or her opinion is she's too black, she's too strong in her opinions.
I'm sorry, hold up. You're mad at someone for being on a TV show called The Real, but they're too real?
I'm just quoting what I've seen. All right, I'm just saying what I've seen.
It's only real enough for mainstream media, bro. Come on now, you know the rules.
So
please.
Okay, so anyway, so she basically is not renewing her contract after a year. And yeah, I think it's interesting. Honestly, I'm not super surprised. I didn't feel like she totally blended with the rest of the girls.
Well, she was new.
Right.
They've been on the Real been on for like at least 5 years. If longer than that. Yeah, 5-6 years.
7.
That show always got some drama swirling around it, but that's just my opinion from the outside looking at it. I only really watched it for.
I mean, when Tamar was on it, I mean, yeah, but like since then, I
haven't watched the show since Tamar got fired. Not because I am a Tamar fan, but that's not the reason why.
You're a Tamartian.
I didn't. No, I'm not
a Martian. Is that a thing?
Tamartian, yeah.
You used to claim being a Tamartian, so don't even start.
Don't get new. Don't get new.
Don't act like you don't know her now.
I'm not I'm still a Tamar fan, but I'm not a Tamartian because that grew out a little toxic for me. But that's a story for another day.
I like her new show though.
But yes, anyway. I really haven't watched the show since Tamar got fired. I didn't stop watching it because Tamar got fired. I didn't really watch it while she was on there. But she was the only reason why I was tuning in.
Well, yeah, so I feel like with Amanda, I think she wanted more black, like, topics about black people, about black culture, whatever. And
I cannot.
We're not Tamartians.
Clearly you are.
You are. And then everybody else, I don't know. I mean, to me, they never really talked about a lot of fluff, like topics, nothing that was like ever too deep or too heavy.
That's why I didn't tune in anymore, because what they were talking about was like stupid stuff.
Well, I think that's why they brought, because I remember watching a couple interviews where Lonnie Love was talking about why they brought Amanda on was because they wanted to get to those deeper topics. And, you know, she definitely took people to task at times, but it didn't feel like, you know, they were adversaries. And I think that from what she said, it was just pretty much where she just felt like I think network executives were trying to censor her and censor what they could talk about and how she could talk to her people, because she felt like there were certain things that she needed to say to and for Black people. Because she's, you know, somebody said, Charlamagne the God says this, that her brand is funny and smart. And so, you know, she just felt like she couldn't do it. Which I understand when you have a network television gig, you know, you have to go through the.
I mean, the show does come on Fox TV, so
I know, because I feel like they let anything go, but you know, I guess they just don't like it when Black people talk about Black things.
All right.
okay.
Continuing on,
You can do it.
brain
I believe
fart.
it.
Jesus.
One next.
And
We're getting
Talk
dragged
about the
next.
Satan sisters.
I just had a
reading.
stroke in my head. All right, moving on. I want to talk about Matt. What's going on over there in the good old city of Glassboro? What's happening here
With these Greeks.
All right. Well, I am a person that is a member of a predominantly white fraternity and has had many encounters with other members of white sororities. And there's a lot actually going on with a Rowan A. Phi. And first, let me preface this by saying I do have friends in that organization that are very good people, and some have been in touch with me, like we were referencing earlier, what has been going on. But there's been a couple of videos that have surfaced lately that made me look at this with a whole straight face. That like
you gonna put more eyes. That's two different comments.
so I'm actually asking them what's going on. Like I said, like, there's some good people in an organization, but from what I've been seeing, and I'm really trying not to swear, there's been some BS that has come out recently.
So the BS is that there's a young white lady who, in a Snapchat video, hollers the N-word very nice and loud and proud.
With her whole chest.
With their whole chest, with their fake implants that daddy gave them, and their new job that their mama just paid for.
And I don't know this girl. I really don't know her. I've just seen the
Matt, your mama.
Yo, your mom's funny.
Excuse me?
They're coming after you.
There's very good people on both sides.
Anyway. Why is she always coming for me?
Oh.
It's because she loves you.
Oh, sorry. Continue. I had to put that one up.
Can y'all get your phones out your cameras? Dang.
Well, Darnell's looking up the video of the white girl saying nigger. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Darnell beating around the bush.
No, I thought Darnell was taking a picture of what my mom just said.
No, I wasn't. Y'all want
Don't
me
be
to play
showing
this video?
people's numbers now. No, they can look it up.
It was.
I don't think you can.
It's this video of two white girls from there.
How about this? I'll post it in the comments.
And one of them is yelling nigger, I think twice.
Yeah, she's like
hard R.
Whispering it, but like not really.
It's no context to the video.
And then
she did it.
She just did it, and then it panned over.
And then the stupid bitch wants to that was picking the video.
Hello.
I'm sorry. Dang, I mean to say word. And then she wants to like look at herself like, wow, I'm so shocked. Then why would you post it, you dumb MF?
So this is what needs to happen at Rowan University. And for those of you who have connections to that school, I'm pretty sure that those young ladies are still enrolled. They say that they are no longer members of that Greek organization, but I
That's
think
a
that there
lie.
are questions that they aren't.
That's
So
that's a
what
lie.
needs
They
to
have not
happen
been
is that a
kicked
whole
out.
bunch of people need to start making some commotions, so some little racist white girls can get expelled.
You know what's crazy about this is the problem is that's with this, right? And not to sound, I don't know, not to sound pessimistic like I usually do, but I'm gonna tell you right now they're not going to get expelled. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because you said people need to make commotions and make some phone calls. Ain't nobody on campus to make no commotions. Ain't nobody on campus to start walks and stuff like that, and to be in people's offices and be doing sit-ins. Ain't nobody on campus. It's June, so they're gonna be there come September.
Mm.
Ain't nobody on
We'll
campus.
see.
And the only reason I even knew about it is because I think Matt, did you send us the video?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and I just happened to see because I follow Rowan on Twitter. I just happened to see Rowan's tweet. The tweet ain't got that much traction. It's got 14 comments, 12 retweets, and 65 likes. Don't nobody follow Rowan on Twitter.
And
So
then
no, Rowan is aware, Miss Angelique. Rowan put out a statement.
you
Like
know
Rowan
what?
put out a statement on their Twitter from their
You know
actual
what-
verified
you
Twitter
know
account.
what
They're
really-
aware.
really
This ain't not gonna happen.
You know what really pissed me off is that
Uh-oh.
A Phi, the sorority that we're discussing right now, they posted a screenshot apology of Rowan's tweet, and I was like, "You expect me to take that? Like, is that supposed to be?"
So Black Twitter needs to get their hands on
After
this.
that, ugh.
Let's hopefully Black
Please.
Twitter can get their hands on this. I
I just
Black
think-
Black
I don't
Twitter
think they
ain't
are.
worried about Glassboro, New Jersey.
They worry about
Exactly.
everything.
Holy-
Because on our first of all, look at your timelines. All you see is just screenshot photos of people and acting racist in comments. and
Wait.
People are getting exposed left and right.
well,
So,
well, they can
this girl
Can we
is
talk
white
about the
boy.
is this you ain't this you trend that's going on Twitter right now?
No, I didn't know about it. What is
Listen,
it?
No.
the ain't this you trend is pretty much it's a screen
it's pretty much anonymous,
it's people calling people out for their stuff that they did.
right?
So you'll find some person saying trying to support the Black Lives Matter movement now, and then somebody will comment underneath, "Ain't this you?" And it'll be a tweet from maybe 2 years ago calling somebody the N-word or some other wild racist stuff. And they're like, "Ain't this you?"
Wow.
Like, because people act like they just forget what's going on lately. But no, I don't think they're going to get expelled. They're allegedly out of the group, but
That's
Alleged.
who knows?
Alleged.
I'm
Allegedly
sitting here-
not.
Well, because
I'm-
apparently, is
I'm
that video
sitting
recent?
here-
Because
I'm sitting right here and telling you that's a lie.
is that video recent? Because Rowan's statement made it seem like those two girls were in high school when they made that video, so maybe that's why they're not expelled. I truly don't know.
It
What,
doesn't.
when was that? Last year?
I'm not actually sure
That was
when
supposed to be a
the
joke. It's
video
fine.
came out, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I do know it started floating around
Mm.
earlier this year. So
And then Rowan's saying they're going to do charter specific programs raising awareness on systemic racism, campus wide chapter specific programming to educate ourselves on systemic racism and violence against Black Americans and seek ways to help eradicate it.
Well, I was looking
Okay,
at the
so-
comments, and apparently they did other things too to their girls who were trying to pledge. Like,
I mean,
They-
yeah, but people don't want to talk about it, and I'm going to probably get cut in the comments by other great
I'll-
organizations, but everybody does it.
I'll talk about
Everybody,
it.
everybody does it.
I don't know.
Everybody do
I only
something
went to
for
high
me.
school.
I don't know about
Look,
this
everybody
little thing to
don't
make people act like
haze,
slaves.
but they haze. Cause look, everybody. Cause look, all the people who don't get hazed, then they say you walked or signed some papers, and everybody looking at you crazy because you didn't get hazed. But like I said, I'm not in the community, so I'm gonna stay on my lane over there. But no one gets hazed,
Mhm.
but everybody gets hazed.
I don't know.
but
I wish
nobody
we were
wanna talk
doing
about
a
it.
And
I wish we were
acting
doing
like
the
One thing I-
podcast.
One thing I will say is T doesn't haze, we educate. And
I thought you
Everybody got a
weren't
phrase
gonna
like
call
that.
yourself out.
I was messing with you.
these girls,
Look,
they use their they use their black girls as a pawn to make it seem like they're not racist. But honestly, the writing has been on the wall for a while, and a lot of people didn't want to see it. And I've been the main one that has been saying these things, but it's fine. I'm just happy now that it's coming to light.
Well,
And
let me
that's the last thing I have to say about it.
Well, let me just say this. I think that anybody that knows the history of Greek organizations and the reason why we have things like the Divine Nine, which are the Black
Yeah, because the white people ain't let us in.
Exactly. And so
The same reason why we got our own black colleges.
I am not surprised when we hear, and there have been a couple of rumors on my old campus, Ryder, where there is certain groups
We just dropping
looking
names,
at you,
aren't we?
SIGAP, who
Look, Ryder old. Y'all got that old
they
old
tell,
bone. No.
they tell their people in group chats, don't talk about, they told all their members in group chats, don't talk about what's happening right now with Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. And then they make this statement saying, we stand with people, but you really don't on an everyday basis. And so we have these Greek organizations, which I think need to all be exposed. If you got racism in your ranks, expose it, get these people expelled out of these colleges. Because I have a little cousin that goes to Rowan. I don't want her to go to no school with a girl that likes to holler the N-word. No.
I mean, there's gonna be people.
There's gonna be people like that everywhere.
There's gonna be people everywhere.
If it's found out, then something needs to be done.
I will say this about my specific organization, Tau Kappa Epsilon. My chapter was always very inclusive. Like, there was never anyone that said anything racist to me. There was never anyone that treated me any differently because of type, my skin color. Yes, I've been talked about because of the BS that I do, but it was never because I was black. It was never because anything treated me different in any kind of way. So I do love and respect every single one of the people that I call a brother. So I just want to put that. I just want to put that out there for my organization.
Okay. But for the other ones,
that is
we watching y'all.
That is I think a great time to segue. Darnell mentioned something about standing earlier. And Drew Brees apparently wants everybody to stand still when it comes to this national anthem, is talking crazy. Still,
this episode is a drag session.
Still talking crazy.
And
so
I'm
Drew
ready
Brees,
to drag him.
I don't remember who he was on the interview with, but he basically had a Zoom interview with some sports outlet, media outlet. And
I have quotes.
The person asked him, if you got quotes, that's even better. But the person asked him, how you feel about people kneeling? He was like, I'm still not for it. Whenever I see the flag and hear the anthem, I think of my grandfather who fought in the wars. Both grandfathers. My thing is, do white people think black people didn't fight in wars ever? Were we not in wars?
I'm very glad you brought
black
that up.
people fought in wars.
I'm very glad
to rural racism.
My grandfather fought in Vietnam.
I'm very glad that you brought that up, because that's something that I was gonna say.
I
watched one of my
90 years old
shows to talk about and watch is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp said, so he pretty much said, do you think that black people didn't fight in the wars and come back to, like, they fought for freedoms that they didn't
come back to racism?
Yep.
And I was like, make that point, because that's pretty much what it was.
So because y'all know I'm a history major, but you have, they were pretty much, there was no choice for them. Even going back to slavery, they had to participate in wars that they probably didn't want to even fight in. And then even to present day, or more recent histories, where black people went to war, and then when they came back, they were denied things like VA benefits. They were treated like the scum of the earth, and weren't given the respect. They went out, did heroes work, came back home, and never received a hero's welcome.
I heard
they were still seen as less than.
I heard a quote that was like, I'm fighting my master's war right now.
And then on top of that, I think that, and to all the friends that are watching this, respect to our flag. But I was even riding on 55 the other day, and I saw a big crane that had our flag on it. And for me, when I look at that flag, it's problematic, because even though people say that this flag represents freedom, it represents liberty, all that wonderful good stuff, black people have been denied that on every level, at every juncture in the history of this country. And so you can yell about respect, you can yell about it disrespects the army, but for black people, we don't have that. We don't have that type of relation with the history of this country. And so for you to expect us to respect it, irrespective of that, I think that that's a little bit facetious.
I feel like it goes back to my point of when I say understand. You see something.
Peter has hide, by the way.
Peter.
Good,
Aw,
Peter.
what's up, buddy?
Continue.
You just said
it
hi
goes-
to Camille. I rode the bus with you all those years, Peter.
Yeah,
First of all,
but-
I've known Peter since we were little.
Yeah, they know each other
Okay.
their whole lives.
Years. Were you a lifer, Peter? I think he was a lifer.
I mean, Wait, I was just
Wait, I'm not done. I was not.
Wait,
no,
let Camille
I'm
finish
not
the
done.
thought.
I
No,
never get to
no,
talk. You
no.
guys never let me talk ever. Ever.
please.
I'm
Oh,
defending
please.
black women today. Go ahead.
Thank
Camille.
you. So it goes back to my point of understanding when it comes to
Yeah,
Drew
I've had
Brees
one
and like
but,
when you
go
see
ahead.
things.
Matt.
Don't cut me off.
You know what? I know where you live.
Go ahead, Camille. I got you.
When it comes to good looking out. No, when it comes to things that like again that make us angry or we see something that makes us upset, like nobody like did he take the time to understand really what it was that Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for? Like you just see it and you don't like it, and you're just gonna decide that you don't like it and then it's wrong. Like
Yeah.
try to understand it. And if you seek understanding, you still don't agree, okay. But then at least you made the effort to empathize with somebody. Empathy.
Yeah.
That was it.
And
So-
I would agree that a lot of people I feel like who are against the people specifically kneeling during NFL games and stuff, a lot of them I don't think did take the time to realize why, specifically Kaepernick was kneeling, why other NFL players were kneeling with him. Because they didn't. They just said, or if they did, they would be like, well, this ain't the place, do it somewhere else.
But at least if even if that was your opinion, if you took the time to understand, then I mean I can't. If that's how you feel, you can't be mad at it. I mean, it may suck, but whatever. But you have to at least come from a place of let me understand what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
I think that the best response to what Drew Brees said, and he did apologize, but I think
That apology was trash. He only
Yeah,
apologized.
pretty much.
He
Pretty
apologized
much.
after some of his own teammates called him out, said you trash for that, and he realized, oh wait, everybody I work with is black.
I feel like if you're gonna make a statement and stand by it, own it.
I do want to give
My
a
thing is like if you're gonna
But-
own it, own it.
Can I
I do want
can I
to give
just say
a shout
that
out.
Malcolm?
I do want to get a shout out to
talking,
Malcolm
Matt.
Jenkins right now.
That's what I was
I didn't know what y'all
going
was
to mention,
saying.
Matt. Thank you for it.
Y'all talking at the same time. I don't even know what either of y'all just
Nobody.
said.
I don't know what y'all
'Cause I
said.
started talking and I wanted to finish, but I think that the best response came from Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah.
If you follow him on social media, look at the video that he posted. It was very emotional. I think I got emotional watching it. He was just pretty much saying that, by what Drew Brees was saying, in a nutshell, he's denying the experiences of millions of Americans who are black, who have had to live through atrocities, who have had ancestors and grandfathers, great-grandfathers, grandmothers and great-grandmothers who have had to live through the worst histories of this country. And so by you just glazing over it and acting like, well, it's just this great old flag and my grandfathers both fought in wars, you are pretty much saying, I don't care about your story. Stand for a flag that I like, that represents me, that has been fighting for my liberties and freedoms. I don't care if it doesn't fight for your liberties or freedoms. It fights for mine, and for that you should stand. And I don't want to see people kneeling come time for the 2020 football season.
One thing I want to say about Malcolm Jenkins, obviously, he's one of my all-time favorite Eagles, and he always speaks up for issues going on in the black community. So that's one of the main reasons why I do respect him. He's been signed to the Saints now. Drew Brees is his quarterback. But yeah, when I saw his response to what was said by Drew Brees, I loved it. And it brought my attention to because I didn't see what Drew Brees said immediately. I didn't see that.
Neither did I. I had to look it
I
up.
saw
And
it.
when you guys sent it to the group, that's how I was like, oh, he issued an apology, whatever. But I didn't see that until after I saw Malcolm Jenkins' comment and pulled up what was said.
Yeah.
So yes, what he said, just like Darnell just said, it brings to attention to what was said, and like it makes you think about the intent behind that.
And you know that he wouldn't have apologized if he wasn't getting so much flack for it.
He would
Absolutely.
not have. The only reason
That's
he
what I'm saying.
apologized
That's
is
what I'm like,
because he got flack for it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you feel like that's your true feelings, stand by it.
That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Just that's how you feel. Like stand by it. Don't apologize if you don't really mean it.
And I
it's sad.
like Drew Brees. He's probably in my top 10 list of my favorite quarterbacks. I'm a huge football fan. I do like Drew Brees, but what he said was messed up.
But
because the reason I don't agree with his apology, and because somewhere in his apology he was like he acted like he didn't understand the connection, and that is impossible. You have been in the Kaepernick started kneeling, if I'm not mistaken, at least 4 years ago.
Yeah,
like this is how far back this goes. So there's no way that people have been kneeling in the NFL for 4 years. You play in the NFL and you didn't know what they was kneeling for. So you just thought every time you saw somebody kneeling, they was just saying, your grandpappy was trash. That's what you thought every single time.
And you're one of the best quarterbacks that people talk about. So you really don't think that you would see what's going on right now?
I feel like he probably has his number. He could have called him.
Well, probably doesn't. I'm mad at the fact that it goes back to when Kaepernick started to do this protest, this silent protest, this peaceful protest.
People didn't like that.
But the whole issue it really came to head when our current president decided to twist why Kaepernick was kneeling, which was because of police brutality, which we see in our face so evidently right now, with the Breonna Taylor case, with George Floyd, and so many countless others. And he twisted it and perverted it and turned it into something else in the eyes of so many different other Americans. And so instead of it being a protest about police brutality and just race relations in this country in general, our current president twisted it and made it into they're protesting against our flag, they're protesting against our nation, they're protesting against the military and the people that protect us. And that was never the point. And the fact that Drew Brees, who I'm not sure where his education was, but I'm sure he was educated somewhere. So he just goes along with that and doesn't educate himself. And so it's just unfortunate. And I wish that he would have done better, or just don't say anything at all. Just shut up, because we don't need that right now. It was ill-timed. It was ill written. It was just awful.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they're gonna be
late to the game.
At the end of the day, he can shut his mouth.
They're gonna be taking the knee.
He should shut his effing mouth.
All right. Excuse Matt. He been drinking some wine, clearly. When Matt starts cussing, you know it's
I'm gonna save our discussion topic for next week. We've already been on here for an hour, so I'm gonna save our discussion topic isn't really crazy like topical, so we can still do it next week. And I think it'll still be a good one. If that's
it would be a weird segue if we did that.
Yeah.
So it would be odd.
Any final thoughts before we get on up out of here? Darnell, don't speak for 5 minutes.
Well, y'all can go first.
No,
you go first
for 5 minutes.
Just don't speak for 5 minutes.
You got 2 minutes.
Camille, you go ahead and say something.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No,
please.
You start for real. You started. Nope. I just want to gather my thoughts, so I'm not going for 5 minutes.
There we go. Let them gather. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I guess I would say. I would say the gist.
I tried to keep it together. Hold on. Okay, go ahead, Camille. Go up. I'm not going to cut you off.
This boy.
Mute him.
The gist of what I've
not hit me with the mute button again.
You know what? I give up.
Go ahead, Camille.
The gist of what I've really been saying throughout this entire time is, if you don't agree, fine, but seek to understand someone else's point of view, someone else's put yourself in their shoes to understand what it is that they go through on a daily basis. Don't just make assumptions based on something that you see. Rather, empathize with that person, go to that person and ask them It's a simple conversation, honestly. People want to be so quick to post stuff of an opposing view or opposing whatever. Like, have a conversation, speak to them about it, desire to understand and learn more, and then form your opinion from that.
So, I'm gonna just kind of halfway repeat what I said before earlier. Like I said, it's still crazy for me to think, but I'm sure there's people out here in the world who just not realizing racism is a thing. If that's you, that's okay. But now your eyes is awoken, and now you got to do something about it.
I guess I'll say, conversation I was having with somebody before who's white. I said, you might not be able to walk in my shoes, but you can definitely walk with me. And so for those who desire to be allies, who want to do something, just continue to reach out, continue to educate yourself, but most importantly, don't let this conversation die. Let it continue to be on our lips until something happens and something changes. And then also just make sure that you donate to organizations, sign every petition. I have been signing petitions left and right. I've sent out a couple emails. And then most importantly, vote. We have a systemic problem in this country. Go to vote.org. That's in my Instagram description. It's so easy to check if you're actually registered. It's so easy to sign up to register, so that you can let your voice be heard on the political and national and local. Vote in every type of election. If they have the polls open, you need to go to it like it's a strip club.
What?
All right. Any thoughts for Matt?
Yes, my last thoughts
I just
are
thought it was 10
that
minutes.
my last thoughts are that I love and I care about everybody, and I hope everybody watching right now, everybody I'm speaking with, is doing well.
All right. And on
Let's pray
that
for brighter
note,
days, America.
we out of here.